Welcome, my friends. What is up with Apple, you may ask? Well, something rare just happened. Apple launches its savings account with 4.15% interest rate. Apple on Monday said its Apple Card savings account is now available to users with 4.15% annual percentage yield. So, what does this mean for Apple? What does it mean for big tech companies? What does it mean for the economy? And, what does it mean for the future of the United States? But, before we get into all of that, please press the like button and leave us a comment below. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. And, before we continue, a word from the sponsor of this video. Today's sponsor is InnerLife.com, creator of the InnerLife STS system. InnerLife STS is a cloud mobile platform for mental health care and its integration with primary medical care. InnerLife STS is designed for assessment, data collection and analytics, documentation, and progress tracking. InnerLife STS creates and composes conceptualized narratives and builds them into professional-grade reports. These reports are designed for use by mental health professionals, primary care physicians, justice system professionals and universities and include mental health assessment reports, mental health treatment reports, and treatment progress reports. And InnerLife STS uses doctor-selected pseudonames for all patients. So, only your doctor knows your identity. Be sure to talk to your doctor about InnerLife STS. Apple on Monday launched its Apple Card savings account with a 4.15% annual percentage yield. It requires no minimum deposit or balance, Apple said, and users can set up an account from the Wallet app on their iPhones. Users must have an Apple Card in order to open the savings account. The company said in a press release that all daily cash rewards earned through the Apple Card will automatically be deposited to the savings account. Daily Cash is the Apple Card reward program that offers up to 3% back on purchases. Users can change where their daily cash is deposited at any time, and can also add funds from their bank account to build on their earnings. Apple is launching the savings account through Goldman Sachs. The national average APY on savings accounts is just 0.35%, according to the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, so Apple's 4.15% APY is high in comparison. That competing savings accounts offered by large credit unions, online banks and brick-and-mortar banks can also offer customers a significant APY. Citibank offers a savings account with a 4.75% APY when customers deposit a minimum balance of $5,000. Marcus by Goldman Sachs has a 3.9% APY with no minimum balance or monthly fees. Capital One's savings account has no minimum balance, and users can earn a 3.5% APY. VO Bank offers a savings account with a 4.77% APY with no minimum balance. Apple Card savings users can manage their accounts through a dashboard that will appear in the Wallet app, where they can track their interest and their account balance or withdraw funds. The feature is rolling out inside the Apple Wallet app on iPhones now. And, Apple is now offering a credit card. Here are some of the claims made by Apple regarding its new credit card. The simplicity of Apple in a credit card. Apply in as little as a minute and see your credit limit and interest rate offer, all without impacting your credit score. But your credit score may be impacted after you accept the card offer. And, there are no fees. Not even hidden ones. No annual fees, no late fees, no foreign transaction fees. Unlimited daily cashback. Supposedly, you can get up to 3% cashback on every purchase you make. And, Apple is offering a lower interest rate. Customers can choose any amount you wish to pay and watch Apple Card estimate the interest cost for you. The Apple Card is promising that it will never sell your data to third parties for marketing or advertising. Friends, that is pretty impressive. And, from an investment point of view, Apple needs to expand its growth horizons. Apple missed expectations for basically every financial measure that there is. Revenue, profit, and sales for many of its lines of business. Apple's overall sales for the holiday quarter were about 5% lower than last year's. That makes it the first year-over-year sales decline since 2019. Apple's CEO Tim Cook blamed three factors. A strong dollar. Production issues in China affecting the iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. And every CEO's favorite whipping boy, the overall macroeconomic environment. Here's a summary of Apple's financial performance for the fourth quarter. Earnings per share was $1.88 versus the $1.94 estimated. That was down 10.9% year-over-year. Total revenue was $117.15 billion versus the $121.10 billion estimated. That was down 5.49% year-over-year. iPhone revenue was $65.78 billion versus the $68.29 billion estimated. That was down 8.17% year-over-year. Mac revenue was $7.74 billion versus the $9.63 billion estimated. That was down 28.66% year-over-year. iPad revenue was $9.40 billion versus the $7.76 billion estimated. That was up 29.66% year-over-year. Other products revenue was $13.48 billion versus the $15.23 billion estimated. That was down 8.3% year-over-year. Services revenue was $20.77 billion versus the $20.67 billion estimated. That was up 6.4% year-over-year. Gross margin was 42.96% versus the 42.95% estimated. Not too bad. Apple did not provide guidance for the current quarter ending in March. That is now getting to be the norm for tech companies. Actually, Apple has not provided guidance since 2020. At first citing uncertainty caused by the pandemic. But Wall Street analysts expect Apple to come in at about $98 billion in sales for the March quarter. However, the company offered data points about the company's performance. In fact, it was only Apple's second revenue miss since August 2017, with sales coming in more than 3% below consensus expectations. It also represents a regression from Apple's success over the past 2 years, driven by a need for new computers to work and go to school from home. It was Apple's first year-over-year quarterly revenue decline since 2019 and the biggest annual quarterly revenue drop since September 2016. Apple's CEO Tim Cook said the challenging macroeconomic environment hurt iPhone sales, Mac sales, and sales of wearables like the Apple Watch. iPhone and Mac sales were down year-over-year. Apple's other products category, which includes headphones like AirPods and wearables like Apple Watch, declined over 8%. Cook said Mac sales fell because it was difficult to compare the quarter to last year's quarter, in which the company released new high-end MacBook Pro laptops. There were no similar launches during this year's December quarter, Cook pointed out. The report offered investors a few bright spots. First, Apple disclosed that it has 2 billion active devices, including iPhones, Macs, Apple Watches, and other products. It's an increase from the 1.8 billion active devices it revealed last year in January. The number is important to investors because it summarizes the company's global reach and suggests upside if Apple can better monetize those customers through services or other additional products. Apple iPad sales grew nearly 30% year-over-year after it released a low-end, inexpensive model as well as a new high-end model during the quarter. It's a redeeming area in Apple's hardware business and is a reversal of last December quarter, in which Mac revenue surged and iPad fell. One other silver lining for investors. Apple reported 6% growth in its services business, beating analyst expectations. Apple management said cloud services, payments including Apple Pay and Apple Card, and music were strong components of services. Cook added that Apple employees are beta testing a buy now pay later feature that will be part of services. Barclays cut its revenue estimate by 7% for the first quarter, caused by a number of factors. Slowing services growth, continuing production problems, and weakening demand. What started out as production-driven cuts has moved to demand weakness across product categories, Barclays analysts wrote in a note. We are also concerned by decelerating services growth, the note continued. Apple struggled with iPhone 14 Pro shipments during the holiday season for a few reasons. There are COVID restrictions on its primary factory in China. Investors are also wary of rising interest rates. And consumer confidence overall is declining. All of these factors could hurt demand for Apple's premium-priced products. Apple has been a Wall Street darling for as long as most people can remember. Bank of America, B of A, downgraded of Apple in October to neutral from buy. The resulting sell-off vaporized $120 billion off its market cap. Apple's stock continues to be stronger than its big tech peers. Shares in Apple fell by over 25% in 2022. Which is actually much better than most big tech companies. The Nasdaq Composite was down 31% in 2022. But that does not mean that all Wall Street analysts are very optimistic. Apple reportedly cut iPhone 14 production by 6 million units. And, if you follow this channel, you probably already know that tech companies are sensing weak macroeconomic conditions. Inflation is raging in most parts of the world. Central banks are aggressively raising interest rates in order to tame inflation. Consumers' budgets are getting tighter because of having to spend more on gas and food. So, consumer discretionary spending is weakening. And the United States is now teetering on the brink of recession. But, what do you think? Please leave us a comment below and hit the like button. We would love to hear from you. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you are notified of upcoming videos when they are released. Please share this video on social media. Thank you for watching.